In the world of space exploration, sometimes the most dramatic moments happen when nothing leaves the ground. Today, SpaceX came within mere seconds of launching Starship's highly anticipated Flight 8, only to call it off at T-minus 40 seconds. Standing on the precipice of another historic test flight, engineers made the difficult but necessary call to scrub the launch due to technical concerns, not the foggy, windy Boca Chica weather as many initially suspected. Elon Musk himself took to social media with the details. Too many question marks about this flight, and then we were 20 bar low on ground spin start pressure. Best to destack, inspect both stages, and try again in a day or two. What does this pressure issue mean? The ground spin start pressure is critical for properly spinning up the rocket engine's turbopumps that deliver fuel and oxidizer to the combustion chamber. Being 20 bar below the required level could indicate a potential leak or malfunction in the pre-pressurization system. After Ship 33's explosion during the previous test flight, SpaceX is taking no chances. A prudent approach when pushing the boundaries of what's possible in space travel. Will they be ready to go by Tuesday? Wednesday seems more likely, but we'll be tracking every development as the SpaceX team works to resolve these issues and prepare for the next launch attempt. This is Elon Musk 24 Hours bringing you the latest breaking news from SpaceX. Let's dive right in. The fog rolled across Boca Chica Beach as SpaceX's massive Starship stood gleaming in the early morning light. After the partial success of Flight 7, which saw Starship reach space but end with a dramatic explosion during re-entry, today was supposed to be the next giant leap forward. Hundreds of thousands of viewers worldwide had their live streams open, comment sections buzzing with anticipation as the countdown proceeded toward what could have been a historic moment for space exploration. T-minus 10 minutes. The countdown was progressing smoothly. Engineering teams monitored their stations with focused intensity, watching as propellant levels, pressures, and temperatures all reported nominal values across most systems. The frost patterns on the rocket's exterior, a beautiful side effect of the cryogenic fuels flowing through its veins, created an almost ethereal appearance against the foggy Texas coastline. T-minus 5 minutes. Launch control confirmed the automated sequence was underway. Valves adjusted positions, electronic systems performed final checks, and the flight termination system armed itself for the contingency nobody wanted to think about. Weather parameters, despite the fog and coastal winds, remained within acceptable limits. The primary concerns weren't environmental but deeply technical, hidden in the complex machinery that would bring 33 Raptor engines roaring to life. T-minus 3 minutes. The launch director gave the final go for launch, with controllers reporting nominal status across nearly all systems. Yet behind this calm exterior, engineers had already noticed concerning readings in the ground spin start pressure system, the critical apparatus responsible for initiating the engine startup sequence. T-minus 40 seconds. The tension in mission control peaked as a hold was suddenly called. The countdown clock froze while flight controllers analyzed real-time telemetry data streaming from the rocket systems. The pressure readings were 20 bar below expected parameters, a significant deviation that could compromise the entire engine ignition sequence. For a brief, hope-filled moment, the hold was lifted as engineers attempted real-time troubleshooting, only for the final announcement to come moments later. We are scrubbing today's launch attempt. The disappointment was palpable across the space community, but underneath ran a current of understanding. This is rocket science after all, where the margins between success and failure are measured in fractions of a second, and the slightest deviation can have catastrophic consequences. Elon Musk took to social media shortly after, with a characteristically concise explanation. Too many question marks about this flight, and then we were 20 bar low on ground spin start pressure. Best to destack, inspect both stages, and try again in a day or two. Those two sentences revealed volumes about the engineering challenges and the methodical approach SpaceX takes to development. Too many question marks indicates multiple unresolved uncertainties beyond just the pressure issue. In the world of rocket launches, doubt is sufficient reason not to proceed. The 20 bar low pressure reading, approximately 290 psi below required levels, represented a potentially serious issue with the system designed to initiate engine startup. Think of the ground spin start system as the starter motor in your car, but for rocket engines. Before the Raptor engines can roar to life with their full methane-oxygen fury, their turbopumps, which force propellant into the combustion chamber at incredible pressures, need to begin spinning. This initial rotation requires a precisely calibrated push of high-pressure gas. Being significantly below the required pressure could lead to insufficient propellant flow, uneven engine startup across the 33 Raptors, or combustion instability. After witnessing Ship 33's dramatic explosion during the previous test flight, SpaceX's abundance of caution makes perfect sense. Every component must function flawlessly, every reading must fall within defined parameters, and every decision must prioritize safety and long-term program success over immediate gratification. Perhaps most telling was Musk's decision to destack the vehicle, physically separating the Starship upper stage from the Super Heavy booster for detailed inspections. This isn't a trivial undertaking. It requires precise coordination of the massive launch tower's mechanical arms, nicknamed chopsticks, to grasp the Starship, lift it from its mated position, and place it on a separate stand. This operation alone typically takes several hours. The fact that SpaceX is willing to undertake this complex procedure signals they suspect the pressure anomaly might be related to physical issues requiring hands-on inspection, not just sensor errors or software glitches. Musk's mention of inspecting both stages indicates the concern might extend beyond ground equipment to the vehicle itself. The timeline of a day or two is optimistic given historical precedent with DESTACK operations. But SpaceX has been continually improving their procedures. What once took weeks now often takes days, a testament to their rapid iteration approach. Flight 8 represents more than just another test. It builds upon crucial milestones achieved during Flight 7, which demonstrated successful stage separation, controlled super heavy descent, Starship reaching orbital velocity, and initial heat shield performance. Flight 8 was expected to push these achievements further, potentially including controlled descent and recovery of both stages, critical capabilities for achieving the full reusability that makes Starship revolutionary. NASA watches these developments with particular interest. Their Artemis program depends on a modified Starship variant to deliver astronauts to the lunar surface. Each successful test, and even each informative failure, brings that historic moment closer to reality. The technical complexity of the Raptor engine startup sequence helps explain why the pressure anomaly caused such concern. Unlike older rocket designs using simpler ignition methods, the Raptor engines utilize a complex ballet of precisely timed interactions. The ground spin start system's job is to provide that initial push to begin spinning the turbopumps before propellant combustion takes over this process. With 33 engines that must start in carefully orchestrated sequence, even a single engine misbehaving could jeopardize the entire mission. As the news of the Scrubs spread across social media, the reaction reflected both disappointment and understanding. Today's space community is remarkably knowledgeable, following technical details with an enthusiasm that would have seemed implausible in earlier eras of spaceflight. Many immediately recognized the significance of the pressure readings Musk described and began thoughtful discussions about potential causes and solutions. Behind every sensor reading and every decision are the dedicated people who make these ambitious test flights possible. In mission control, the decision to hold at T-minus 40 seconds wasn't made lightly. It came after rapid analysis of data, consultation between subsystem specialists, and ultimate judgment by the launch director. These professionals balance the push toward progress with the responsibility to ensure every reasonable precaution has been taken. Now, engineers will meticulously inspect the destacked vehicle components, examining connection points, verifying sensor readings, and potentially replacing components showing signs of wear or malfunction. Manufacturing teams are likely already preparing spare parts, working around the clock to support a rapid return to launch readiness. When Flight 8 does eventually lift off, perhaps as soon as this week, it will carry with it not just the hopes of SpaceX, but the aspirations of everyone who believes in humanity's future among the stars. Each test flight, each anomaly identified and resolved, represents another step toward making life multi-planetary, The journey from concept to operational system is never a straight line. It involves setbacks, discoveries, redesigns, and moments of both triumph and disappointment. Today's Scrub is simply another data point in that journey, a necessary pause on the path to revolutionary capability. The willingness to stop at T-minus 40 seconds when something doesn't look right is precisely what makes eventual success possible. In the high-stakes world of space exploration, caution today enables boldness tomorrow. The story of Starship Flight 8 isn't over. It's merely postponed to another day, when all systems are truly go for launch and when the massive rocket finally lifts off toward the stars. As we await the next launch attempt, we're reminded that this methodical approach, rigorous testing, careful analysis, and the courage to delay when necessary is exactly how SpaceX has accomplished so much in so little time. The pressure anomaly that caused today's scrub will be thoroughly investigated, understood, and addressed, making the next attempt more likely to succeed. And when that day comes, we'll all be watching again, perhaps even more appreciative of the incredible complexity being managed and the dedication of those making it happen. The road to revolutionizing space travel isn't easy, but with each test, successful or scrubbed, we move one step closer to a future where launches like these become routine, opening the solar system to human exploration like never before. So what happens next? With Elon confirming the need to destack and inspect both stages, we're likely looking at a Wednesday launch attempt at the earliest. But this is SpaceX we're talking about, the company that has consistently redefined what's possible in aerospace engineering. The technical challenge they're facing isn't insurmountable. A 20-bar pressure discrepancy, while significant, is precisely the kind of issue their meticulous inspection process is designed to identify and resolve. This is exactly why test programs exist, to find and fix these critical issues before they can impact operational flights. As we continue tracking developments from Boca Chica, one thing remains clear. Each challenge overcome brings us one step closer to a future where Starship launches become routine, opening unprecedented opportunities for space exploration, satellite deployment, and eventually human settlement beyond Earth. If you want to stay updated on the next Flight 8 launch attempt and all the latest SpaceX and Elon Musk news, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Drop your predictions about the next launch date in the comments below. Do you think Elon's day or two timeline is realistic, or are we looking at a longer delay? Thanks for joining us for this breaking coverage. This is Elon Musk 24 Hours, bringing space closer to home, one launch or scrub at a time. See you at the next countdown.